Yeah, I guess when we were younger, Lauren and I um, we used to have a lot of dolls, like a lot of stuffed animals, and we gave each of them a name, and we gave each of them a distinct voice. But then after a while, because we had so many of them, they all started to sound alike. And we used to invent like these worlds where they were families and they were kind of like our own households. But I think we were kind of mirroring them after. We used to watch a lot of soap operas, and we used to kind of mirror them after all the soap operas. I don't remember when we stopped. We probably stopped, I don't know, we probably stopped when we were 10. I think we were a little old before we stopped.
You're older than that. Well, tell me about your favorite doll.
Well, my favorite doll is a stuffed beaver named Smiley. And he's not like a doll that you would think of. Like he doesn't have a lot of fur or anything. He's basically two pieces of cloth sewn together with stuffing inside, and it's painted to look like a beaver. And he was part of this gang called the Shirt Tails. That used to be a TV show in the 80s. And he was actually a gift from my aunt to my older sister Natha. My aunt used to send us Christmas gifts every year, even though we didn't celebrate Christmas. And he then I kind of just adopted him for my own because he was always like so happy looking, and I just really loved him. And I still have him. He's really old now. But I found on eBay a pattern, another pattern to make him like the same doll. So I bought that and I made a new one. And that's the one I actually still sleep with at night with my husband.
You still sleep with it.
Yes, I still sleep with my dolly, Smiley.
Do you think we should bring him out?
Maybe another time.
Okay. So, still with your childhood, what did you want to be when you grew up?
It kind of changed. I remember watching the show The Jeffersons and wanting to be a maid when I grew up. And then for a while I wanted to be a hairdresser. But probably when I got a little older, because I had a lot of health issues, I wanted to be a doctor. Probably from the time I was in high school, I think I wanted to be a doctor. I never wanted to be a lawyer, which is kind of funny. I think my dad pushed me to be an accountant, so that's why I became an accountant first. And, I was really, math came very easily to me, so it kind of seemed like a easy thing to fall into or a natural thing to fall into. So, and I actually really liked accounting. I kind of miss it. But I never wanted to be an attorney until until I was an accountant for a while, and I really got a little bored with my job.
What made you want to be an attorney?
Well, I remember taking some classes in law school that were kind of related to my major. They were economics classes, but they were economics in the law classes. And that was when I actually read my first opinion written by a court. And it was really interesting because the way the court writes their opinions is, they set out the facts and then they set out what they think the law is. I mean, the law is, sometimes we think of the law as something that's absolute, but it really isn't. It's something that's being invented almost every day and tweaked every day. And they were basically trying to come to the right decision, using principles of economics, principles of justice and fair play. And it was really interesting. So when I decided I wanted to go back to school, it was either business school or law school. And I thought, this was the time to kind of do something a little different. I thought business school would be more of the same.
Okay. What did you dream about doing as a child?
I dreamt about becoming a doctor and, possibly going back to Thailand. And helping out like some of the children who couldn't afford medical care in Thailand. And I think I thought that, and my parents really discouraged me because I was always a very sickly child, and doctors have to work such crazy hours, and they're constantly um, in the company of ill people. So I think in the end they were actually right that physically I probably wouldn't be able to take it. So
Do you resent them for
um, I used to for a while, but now I realize they, I think they were right because I'm still, although I'm a lot stronger than I used to be, I think I'm still not the strongest type of person. And I see the hours that doctors work, and I don't think I'd be able to handle it. So I think in the end, I think they were actually right, which I'm sorry to say, but I think it's actually true.
you work a lot of long hours as a lawyer?
I work a lot of long hours as a lawyer, but um, I work at home sometimes, and I'm not around sick people all the time, and I don't think I work the hours that a doctor works. Like a doctor, especially when they're um, on their, I forget what it's called, their residencies, they have to work like 20 hours a day, which I don't understand why they still do that, but that's the way it works. So I couldn't see myself doing something like that.
So, what else were you interested in as a child?
As a child, I was interested in, well, I was kind of a nerd. I like to study and I like to do well in my classes, but I also like to draw. I took a lot of drawing classes with my sister Norn, and I played the piano when I was really young. I quit very young. I quit maybe when I was 10 or so, and I probably started when I was 7 or 8. So, um,
You're quite good at the piano, weren't you?
I was reasonably good at the piano. I think I was the type of child who things came things came to me pretty easily, like as far as skills go, like playing the piano and doing like getting good grades in school and things like that. And I didn't realize how much I loved the piano until many years later after I quit, and I wish that I had kept on with my lessons. But yeah, I was reasonably good. I was playing in concerts with my that my teacher would put on, and my 3 sisters also played the piano. All 4 of us played, and we would all be in the same concerts.
So, tell me about what your perceptions of our household was like growing up.
It's kind of a broad question.
Okay, well, let's skip it then. Tell me about your glasses.
Well,
Where'd you get them?
I remember when I was very young watching TV on my parents' bed, and all of us would pile up on my parents' bed and watch TV. And the TV was about this far away from the end of the bed, and I would always have to sit on the very end of the bed because I couldn't see it clearly, and I didn't really know. I mean, that didn't make me feel like, oh, I need glasses. And I remember going to school and I couldn't really read what was on the chalkboard, and I would copy off of my neighbor's paper because I didn't know what it said on the chalkboard. And it still didn't really register with me. I think I was just so young. This was when I was in 2nd grade. And then finally we had one of those routine eye exams in school, and that's when I found out that I needed glasses. So my parents took me to the eye doctor, and I got my first pair of glasses, and they were really huge, and they're kind of made out of that plastic see-through material. I think they were pink, and Yeah, so I started wearing glasses from second grade, and I don't think I started my